Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Hey, what's up, lady? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How's that other side of the world called Canada?
Canada is great. Canada is doing well.
Oh my goodness, yes. And we got a very good guest coming up at the top of the hour, family. So y'all don't touch that dial because we're going to have things running wild. But do remember, we do like people to like, subscribe, share, and comment. But you got to comment respectfully because, you know, I get rid of trolls real quick. Out of here. I ain't into that. And please share with at least 5 or more people because that helps build the algorithms and allows us to have fun. We're broadcasting on Instagram, also broadcasting on I am King Simon on Instagram, so that's good. And also we're broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook on my show. Also, you didn't set your place on fire, right? Yeah, you ain't put your YouTube channel on. Did you put your YouTube channel? Cause I didn't see it.
No, I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
I love
Just
that.
I hope everybody's feeling well out there. Let's see who's coming in. Canada. Somebody said Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. We can't sing that song no more. Big up to that song.
I know, right? We had to sing. I remember having to sing that in school, and just it became so mechanical. But once you leave school,
yes,
God,
forget about it.
Literally, it's God.
Exactly. Before we bring on, we got 3 minutes before we bring on. Let me just remind our audience of what else is coming up. Tomorrow, family, I will be on speaking about the new motivational power of reaching. What that word reaching means, what it means to reach. Reach to the sky, reach for your powers, reach for your energy using the mathematics, of course. And of course, this coming on the 25th. We haven't decided on what we got for next Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday yet, right? No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, matter of fact, I got a dental appointment. It was supposed to be today, so I might keep that. Yeah,
okay.
I had to push it. Yeah, because they had to analyze certain things. But I got Dr. Aline L.A., one of our elders, coming in on Sunday. And we'll talk about what's coming up. And do remember, family, okay, and March 3rd on a Sunday, I got Dr. Shakira Moore, the iridologist, coming in, loving your eyes, dealing with your eyes. And I think we have Hadia coming in. So I got Hadia Barbell coming in, but I don't have those flyers yet. And in Atlanta, we got Professor James Smalls. Boom, coming into Atlanta for 2 days. This is the early bird ticket. It changes to another price on March 1st. So make sure y'all get it. And then we're doing a private all-day workshop with Professor James Smalls. Matter of fact, it's going to be a symposium, Q&A, no holds bar, no videotaping, no audio taping, no pictures, nothing taken until after it's finished. That's it. And it's going to be all day. Yeah, it's going to be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm telling you. And if you want to go to Jamaica with my good friend here, Nia Love, big up to her. She's doing our thing. Big up to her. Hit her up. And don't forget drlaylaafrica.com. I always support the Baba, dead or alive. He's still alive in all of us that are into health. That's my brother for many years. Also, don't forget the studio if you want to record and do certain things with your projects and all your music or audiobooks. Check him out. And Carrie Ann, tell them about this buy one, get 40% off. Tell us about that, please.
All right, so you don't like readings. You don't like that word, readings.
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing. I mean, it's consultation if you go back.
Consultation, yes, exactly. So for a limited time, I'm offering 40% off. You buy one at regular price, you get 40% off the second one, and you could book it for an X amount of time in advance. You don't have to use it all at once. So tarot, oracle cards, energy healing, all combined in one for a unique,
all of that.
Incredible session.
All of that. And tell them about this real quick. Go on with it. Tell him.
This one. So as I'm I think you all know, I'm a certified Reiki master.
That's right.
So I offer distance Reiki healing, which is incredible because, as we know, in this community, energy has no barrier. Energy travels through dimension, time, and space. So Reiki helps to reduce stress, anxiety, grief, anger. And right now, our entire planet, we're struggling with all of the above. So, and it also helps with physical pain. So I'm offering that service. Book with me. Go to this link right here, carrieanningram.com/shop, and book a session.
And tell them about this shop. Yeah, you got a whole heap of shop. Yeah, you have a whole heap of shop.
So I make handmade high vibrational healing jewelry. I use top of the line gemstones and crystals. So these what you're seeing in the photo, they're shungite and copper, which helps to neutralize negative energy in the body and remove it from the body. So yeah, and they're all infused with Reiki energy healing.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. You heard what she says. Of course, I always like to shout out my Baba Lloyd Strayhorn. Big up to him all the time. Hit him up on his website. Look out for my audio book coming out, Numerovation for Mental Stability in a Fun Way. I've been practicing. I'm going to knock it out in one day. That's just what I'm going to do.
Oh, you're going to kill it.
And look out for the new children's book, Let We Tell the Story. Black history, melanated history. Look at this new children's book cover. Big up to Rainbow Art, who actually did the whole spread. It's beautiful. I can't wait to reveal it to y'all, and make sure y'all get all of my books on Amazon or Kindle. Of course, you see it all here, lot of mercy. Yeah. And do remember, make sure you book a session with me. Text me your full name and date of birth, 347-496-1022. I have 19 slots left in March now. I'm into March, 19 slots left. So let's give all that a round of applause.
Great, a round of applause.
Yes. So without further ado, you're going to bring our sister on.
Yes.
Toronto crew. Y'all are Toronto crew. Go ahead. Talk about
it. Today we have L.A. Wade, and this is so exciting. She's an executive producer, writer, published author. She's a creative consultant, TV and podcast host. She holds a M.Ed from the University of Toronto, that's Master of Education. She has been perfecting her abilities to help others find their voices, speak their truth, and tell their stories in unique and creative ways. So without any further ado,
let's welcome her on right here. What's up, ladies? How you doing?
And I like this round of applause. Yes, I'm here for this.
Welcome, sister. How you doing?
I am blessed and highly favored. Thank you so much. How are you?
We're wonderful. We're glad to have you on the show, showing all of your greatness and bringing all of another part of Canada to the forefront. Big up to you, Canadian people. Y'all are doing your thing out there in Canada. You're doing your thing in Canada. Lord of mercy. We are loving every bit of it. So I'm happy that you're here. And how's Canada treating you, my dear?
Canada can be a crab in the bucket kind of place, but today the sun was shining. The sun is shining, and the gods were aligned here in Canada today. So I'm grateful.
Oh, man.
Tell them what you did this morning.
This morning I was on one of the most popular TV shows called Breakfast Television, and I was speaking about Black mental health, specifically for Black men. Good. There's a special place in my heart for Black men as I'm raising two of them. But there's something about Black men that is going unnoticed.
Yes.
And for those of us who are paying attention are aware of what it is. And so I want to give space to that. I want to put my allegiance to it and give space for them. And if they can't speak for themselves, then I'll be happy to speak on behalf of them, but always representing their voice and not mine.
We appreciate that, because a lot of us been going through a lot of stuff. And
a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff. And matter of fact, one of my friends, why I wrote the book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, Using Your Numbers to Motivate You, is because one of my friends in Canada, who was my best man to my second marriage, he jumped off a bridge in Vancouver. And
oh my God.
he was done. Mental health. He was going through a lot of stress, and then he burnt bridges with everybody and didn't want to talk. And that was it. And then we found out he was gone. So mental health in both male and female and children.
Oh
People
man.
don't realize there it is too. It's there in the babies too. My own son, my last son, went through that and going through it in his own way, and I'm glad he's gotten through it so far. But also, when I look at the metaphysics of it, the numbers shows up again. The primary numbers of mental health has been the number 4, 7, 8, and 5 and 3 in numerology, the study of numbers. And my friend there that jumped off, he was born on the 13th, which is a 4. So, and then I seen another friend that took her life 13, 4. My grandfather, 22, 4. I keep on seeing these patterns. So once I know these patterns, I say, oh, woo-hoo.
Wow.
Let me pay attention. So I commend you for what you're doing as far as helping brothers and sisters with the mental health. And I'll give you another round of applause because it's dear to my heart. And I tell people, I wrote that book as a love letter to them, although I don't mention their name because their family didn't want them to be the poster boy or poster girl of mental health. They just wanted, and I just said, you know who you are in the book, and they know because I've dreamt about it, so I know what it is. So commend you for doing what you're doing.
I'm so sorry about your friend. That's just
look, it is
that is heavy in the street.
It's heavy in them streets. It's heavy in them streets, especially from where they and from what you're doing. You wanted to start off with a question, and Carrie, you want to go? I don't care. You can go first. If you want, Carrie Ann.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna let you, flow first if you want.
Let it flow.
But she said something, and that's what got me now riding a wave here. I think that's important, and let's delve into where you came from and what's your start, your family background, and why you decided to do what you do in the business of course, storytelling and movie writing, television writing, all the stuff that you're doing, podcasting, all the great stuff that you're doing. And I want to make sure people got your links, see your links. I got to show them your links. Let's not make front on anybody. Got links here. You got links.
Come check me.
Yeah, come check our man. Come check our link tree in this. I have a link tree. I have our website. Support it. So what started your journey from where you're from? Tell the people where you're from, your family, and what started your journey and what you're doing today.
Absolutely. That's such a great way to start because, what happened for me is my wonderful mother and father came from the island of Grenada, the Isle of Spice. Yeah. I always think that I'm related to Malcolm X somehow because of his
Could be. You look like one of his daughters. You look like one of his daughters.
There we go. It's the Grenadian thing. So my mom actually came to Canada as a domestic here. And she worked for this Jewish woman who she was one of the few that was like, you should get educated while you're here. So they had her go and do some work around psychiatric nursing, and she got her degree with that, and she ended up working at what is now known as CAMH, and she worked there for over 30 years. First it was at Lakeshore, then it went to Queen Street Mental Health Center, and now it's called CAMH, and she's been there through each one of those locations. And so I remember going on to her workplace and just watching what she was doing and the people who were suffering very deeply with mental illness and how much she treated them like human beings. She did not make them feel like they were different than anyone else. She spoke to them as if she was speaking to any other person in the world. And that really sat with me as a child. And I grew up always wanting to treat people where they are and treat them as I might want for myself. My father, who is also from Grenada, he's passed away now, rest in power.
Rest in power. Yes.
He was a Rolling Stone. Let's just talk the things then. When you come from the Caribbean, you have, extramarital affairs and extra children. But my mother, again, to her detriment or to her wisdom, she allowed us to all know each other. So while my father we have 10 siblings, and she made sure that we all knew each other and respected and loved one another very much. So we don't even think of them as having half brothers and sisters. They were just all my brothers and sisters, including the brother who is like a twin because I was born in October and he was born in February. So,
Wait a minute, your father not named Bob Marley? You sure? You know Bob Marley.
listen, my dad was a coxman. Okay, he had his great eyes. He played in a band.
Oh, that he played in a band. That it's over.
He was a drummer. He played the
there it is.
Yep, and you know, those women just, you know, they couldn't take it.
Yo.
And at his funeral, there was quite a bit of women there that were, you know, not a part of the family unit, I'll say.
Right.
But I know I used to drum too, so I know what you talk about. The drummers, they make up their face, they be there watching you in the crowd like this.
The stamina to beat the drum is what gets us. It's like the Maasai jumping. You're like, I think I want to deal with that one.
Oh my God.
I think it's an island thing, you know.
Indeed.
The light skin. My dad had that light skin going for him.
Yes.
Here,
God.
I have 11 siblings. So,
okay.
Yeah.
We come from the same thing. Yes, we were jealous, yes?
Jealous, yes. Look, I got 9 children. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Oh!
I don't want to segue into my book, you know, The Adventures of a Recovering Sex Addict, but it comes from somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. You know what? Segue into your book. So how was your
we still trying to build up to her life.
My life.
Sex addiction.
Where it comes from, my father. And it's funny because my books are like a self-help erotica. So in one part, it's my mother.
Yeah.
In another part, it's almost definitely my father. So it's interesting that you had me start with that conversation, because very much both of them are a part of who I am. They've replicated themselves in me. My pop is a bass player, I hear.
Yes, okay. That person. They understand. Believe me. Boom, 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 boom.
Yes, the bass player has to rock a certain way with the weight. Trouble.
You know what? And King Simon is really feeling this because he was actually on the mic. He was on the mic in front of people.
I went up to number 5 on the reggae chart. Yeah, I opened up for Shabba. Me and Shaggy went to school together. We was doing it.
Hey, keep up yourself, man. That's amazing.
That's why I'm laughing at all of this. I'm like, I probably knew our father, you know.
Like this.
No. All right, let's calm it down. Because I know. That was good. I like it.
Okay, so they made me, and you know, they came here. I had all my siblings with me, and I grew up in the city of Mississauga here, and you know, I was not treated well as a child. So after all of that funniness and whatnot, it was a very difficult childhood. I went through a lot of pain, and I eventually left home at 16 and just tried to make my way because I figured anything's got to be better than this. Yeah. And I just developed a work ethic and a resilience through those many years. But I always was in concern with my community. My community was always very much important to me, and I always created initiatives that would reach out to the community. I started to get my awareness when Public Enemy came here back in the 80s.
Yeah, I worked with him.
It blew my mind wide open.
Wow.
When I would hear those things, African Bombada, like hip hop is such a big part of what created me. Yeah. You know, that authentic hip hop that is, it's funny, we're doing the documentary on Professor Small, and it's called Can You Hear Us Now? And his portion is called A Small Book. And what I really love about this documentary is that it really speaks to who we are as a people, as an African people. That we don't want to talk about. But that Black mythology that we touch on throughout the short doc is what was given to me through hip hop. It was a different type of Black mythology that didn't include my narrative as a slave.
Yes.
That slave narrative was always a part of recommending who I was as a person. It was trying to inform me of my identity. And so learning about, you know, myself through hip hop, it made me open up a book. Stolen Legacy was one of the books that I read.
George G.M. James, yes.
It opened up my mind to so many different things. And so this was always, Candid, it's hard to, you know, really manifest and represent that knowing because it's just not available to you around you. right? So you might have this knowledge, but you don't know necessarily how to walk in it because it's definitely not around you or supported by the amount of people around you. And even those that are around, they don't all have that knowledge because our Caribbean roots and our struggle is what keeps us, just trying to keep moving. We don't have time. We like to say that we don't have time for this. But you got to make time because you will get left if you don't. Yeah. And so after running away from home and trying to build my life on my own, making
I did the same thing, Lord.
tons of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've hurt so many people in my life. It's ridiculous. It's amazing that I can even have friendship right now. But I'm just talking to things now. Okay? My second book is called Friends with Benefits, but Mostly Liabilities. So sometimes liability.
we gonna look at all them books later.
But, I then moved to California for about a year, and that was a wonderful experience living in the US, but it also had me, really looking at how much I look like people, but I wasn't really like the people that I was looking at. It was such a strange experience to be around African Americans and see myself as African, but definitely not American. And that dissonance was something that I think we continue to allow us to stay divided. The Caribbean and African Americans, Africa and African Americans, Africa, Caribbean, and Canada. Like we have these separate distinctions that further keep us apart. And it was very confusing to me because I grew up in a home where my mother wore an African wedding dress. I took African dance classes, Chisamba. And all the dances.
All the dances, right.
So it was just never so foreign to me. But again, I didn't have anyone around me that could represent that to its fullness. So I just, I stumbled around through life. And by the time I reached 31, after my first marriage, I married a B-boy from Toronto, from the old school crew called Bag of Tricks. And we had our son, and then we got divorced.
Wow.
And, when you don't know who you are, that you're susceptible to those things. It doesn't always happen because, you can know who you are and it still couldn't work out. But definitely, if you don't know who you are, most likely it's going to fail. And I didn't really fully understand myself. I was too impacted by what I saw around me. And it had so much power in informing me of who I was because I didn't really get raised necessarily. I was impressed upon by so many different things. So by 31, I heard about this program at U of T called the Transitional Year Program. And I applied for it because I didn't nearly have the grades with the working and not going to school. And this program allows you to go to the university if you didn't graduate from school and if you had poor grades. And I went into this program and I did amazingly well. I did my transitional year and then went on to do my undergrad in religion and sociology studies. And then right away I went into my master's and I did a sociology and equity studies in education. And I did all of this in 4.5 years. So I was very inspired by education. It just kind of like turned the light on inside of me. And unfortunately, I think the awareness that came with that injured my second marriage eventually. I felt dissonance, I felt disconnected. And I think that based on my trauma, when I perceive that somebody is not really in it to win it with me, I already go into contingency planning. I was looking for who's going to fill this role before I was even out because I could tell what was happening. And I think he was doing it too, but he'll take it to the grave, and that's okay. We're not all in the awareness of truth. He's a wonderful father, and I will never take that away from him. He's a wonderful man. But sometimes we're just not willing to look at ourselves truthfully and talk things them. But that's not my experience. And so after my divorce, my father passed away, got divorced, got in a terrible car accident, 2 of them. And my whole life just kind of started to break down. And a counselor suggested to me that I start to share my experiences through a podcast. So what I was recognizing about my behavior back then was that I seemed to be bartering sex for love because through the sexual abuse that I endured from the age of like 5, at least that's my earliest memory of it. I just, that was what I learned. I learned during those really prime years. And I never done anything different. And the men around me always led with that. So I just thought, oh, okay, that's what you do to gain the affection of someone, is that you give them yourself, not realizing that you have to keep yourself and invite somebody in, not just give it away.
Right.
But you learn this after the fact. And so what I did was, I did something called Cocktails with LA. Where I would go around and do streeters where I'm asking people, love, sex, and dating stories. What's your favorite music to make love to, and what do you, all of these crazy things. Right. And so that was done in 2019. And I snuck over to Chicago for the NBA All-Star game in 2020. Moved my ass over there with my cameraman, and we had this microphone. And the person saw my microphone and saw the mic flag, so thought I was legit. And they gave us media passes to get in. And so I was on the red carpet interviewing all these people. I had no right to be there. But clearly, somebody else had other plans for me. So,
what's so funny about that is that 11 is the fame and fortune number. So you can attract and pull that towards you real quick.
I'm ready. It's coming to me. I'm calling in everything that the devil stole from me. Okay. It's coming.
Get that a round of applause. She got a lot of stuff. She got a lot to tell, boy. She got a lot to say.
Yeah. So doing that, right after that, we got COVID. And I was like, oh my God, but I had filmed so much content between that time, and I hadn't even released an episode yet. So fortunately, when COVID hit, people had nothing else to do but watch my strippiness online. I didn't even know how to post things on YouTube. Like, you'll see stuff on YouTube. I don't even know how to promote it or anything, but I wasn't doing it for that reason in the beginning. Right. I just wanted to tell my story. And I went into an event where I actually shared openly a lot of very intimate details about what I had been through as a child, to a room full of like about 100 Black people. And I don't know if you guys know what it's like in Canada, but we're the screw face capital of the world, apparently. And so it was very intimidating to sit there looking at all of these screw faces saying, what does this girl have to prove to me? What does she have to say? But instead, what it did was took down some walls, because when you're authentic and you're truthful and it resonates with people, it broke down a lot of barriers. And we had a great conversation that day. And you can see it on my YouTube channel. It's called My Story. And you can see me talking about what's happening. And throughout 2020, I started doing Instagram lives. And you can see, I think I posted a couple of them on my YouTube channel. But one of my most famous ones was, are white girls better in bed? All I could hear about is, oh, white girls do this and white girls do that. And I told them, and you'll hear me say it in the video, like, but I do shit. What's going on? So, a brave white woman to come on. And one of the most profound things that white woman said was, we may appear better in bed because of our privilege. And I said, privilege in the bedroom. And she says, yes, because they walk through this world feeling safe. That translates to the bedroom. They're not thinking about the things that we're thinking about. They weren't raised with the things of like, hide yourself. And we almost are taught about our sexuality through a veil of shame. And so that really played into it. So I have these crazy topics, but there's so much wisdom and depth to the things I talk about that it's so much deeper than people think. And I didn't realize that the name of my company was making people so uncomfortable, because it's called Cocktails, right?
Of course.
So like, oh, it's a dick story. Yes, it is a dick story. That's what I was talking about.
You must remember, that's why Rasta and I read it, because they have cock on it.
Exactly. But you know what? So many men, my audience is very balanced. And the reason why my audience is balanced is because I am all for gender equity. I do not believe in only empowering women and leaving men behind.
Get that round of applause. About time. we need to move you back to the United States.
No, you're not taking her.
I might come.
Hold on 1 second. Let me remind everybody that her link is pinned in the chat. So if you want to go to any of her link tree and the website right there that I'm showing, and you could go right there in the chat. It's right under either King Simon right here. Present. It's pinned in the chat. So you can go right to her links for all of her products, all of her books, all of that stuff, all of it. Go on in and support our sister so we can make sure she gets bigger and bigger and bigger so she can keep on helping us. All right?
Yes, I have messages. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Did you
so
have a
all of
question?
that happened.
Good.
What's that?
Oh
Carrie,
no,
did you have a question?
she's still sharing.
Okay, she's
the
still
journey.
going. Go ahead.
Well, this is how I got into the writing. So I started to, so after doing all of that, and I also became, I don't know how this happened, I became a reality housewife. I I hosted a reunion special. You know, they host reunion specials. The wives came, they had their big fight on the stage, and I'm just there trying to be like, oh my God, hold this down. But after the show, they're like, why don't you become one of the wives? And this is a Nigerian reality show. And I'm like, I'm not Nigerian. At least I don't know that I am.
Right.
I fully have like this tattoo. I don't think you can see it, but it's the dual Sankofa. So I've branded myself a Khan.
It is. Oh wow! Look at that. It's Sankofa. Yes. Wow.
Right. So I'm like, you want this Ghanaian mark in the Nigerian talk show? Okay, reality show. Okay, let's do this. And I did it. I did season 3, and we just recently won a Black Actors Film Guild Canada Award.
Oh,
Best reality show. And I just had no idea.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why this is all happening to me, but it doesn't matter because the message is what's most important.
Yes.
And I think I have a way of taking things that seem light and maybe a little taboo and helping people just really look at themselves. It's not that hard. And I lead by example. So I started to write down the stories. I would come to New York looking for man all the time. And I'm like, wait a second, I get the same mashup from overseas as I do here in Toronto, so it must be me. And those hard looks, I remember praying so hard that I wanted to see what I can't see. What is blocking me? Remove the blockage. I don't know what I'm going to do when I remove all of that blockage, but I want to see and I want to attempt to heal it. And little by little, I started to hold myself accountable to how I was showing up. And that's when the writing started to flow. That is when I started to write this self-help erotica where she's a recovering sex addict, meaning that she's engaged in the healing. And that work is not pretty. People talk about doing the work. I've had suicidal ideation. I've been on the floor in the fetal position. I've lost so many friends because as I'm trying to figure out who I am, I'm very angry. I suffer from complex PTSD. And very real things that our community kind of just like, you just think, oh, that person's not good or bad vibes, whatever. They don't understand that people are struggling for real.
Yes.
And when I was able to articulate that in the stories while also talking about the dating that I was doing, it'd be like I met homeboy and then this is what flared up for me and this is how it played out. So when you are not dealing with yourself and you're trying to date and find somebody to be a part of your life, a whole bunch of things are going to happen if you're not careful. And so I just share those stories. And I was meeting a lot of married men, a lot of F-boys. And so that's why my first book is called Married Men and F-Boys. And take you through a bunch of little stories. But what's most profound about it is I'm not throwing those men under the bus. I'm looking at myself and how I showed up to allow these people to be a part of my life and how I participated in those relationships.
Right.
And I wrote down, about 4 pages of a script because I always wanted to do a movie. I used to dream like a camera lens back when I was younger. And I never thought in a million years that I would ever do a movie. And I submitted this movie with a proof of concept thanks to Carlos Anthony, who's my grant writer. He was my grant writer out here. And we got the money. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do a movie. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my book as a way to continue to leave the two things together because, that's intellectual property that even if they pick it up as a series, I'll always have that connected to my name and to what I've written. And hopefully that will increase the sale of my book. It'll be like money that I didn't mean to make that's just going to be making money. And I filmed the movie in 2023. We took 10 days. It's called Thirsty as Fuck, The Adventures of a Recovering Sex Addict. And so in my book, I call my character Callie Church. That's her. It really is. This is a real picture that I have of myself, nude and everything. But the person who
I have to pull my glasses down for this one. My blue blockers for this one.
Joseph Bonsu.
It looking nice. It looking nice in our cartoon.
The Bucky's high. The Bucky's high.
See, so I'm an old gallus. You leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm an old gallus.
I'm not in the married men and F boy situations anymore. I'm very happy and in love.
In a relationship.
I'm very happy now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
As long as you're not in a situationship, you're good.
I'm not in a situationship. I'm in a loving, committed relationship.
That's so beautiful.
He is everything to me.
So
but anyway, regardless of that.
Yeah, what I was going to ask you actually is, in order to get to the book, you had to have gone through the come to Jesus moment. What was that like for you?
What was my come to Jesus moment?
Yeah.
I think it was the massive exodus of almost every single person I've known in my life, throughout my life. I wasn't connected to family. It was right during the pandemic. I had gotten sexually assaulted during the pandemic in my home. And I didn't have the support. So many things happened to me during the last 4 to 5 years of my life there. And it just kept getting progressively worse. And that's where I was saying that come to Jesus moment was my prayer to say that this can't just be everyone else doing this to me. I'm doing something here and I don't even know what it is. People don't understand that blind spots are real. Yes. And I was at least in the awareness to say, I don't know what it is because I can't see it, but to please show it to me.
Yeah.
And little by little, the accountability started to come in. And I started to see myself truthfully. And one of the times when going to New York for one of my Where's the Man of My Dreams trips, I went into the Red Rooster in Harlem. And it was myself and 2 girlfriends. And they sat us at this table. And when we looked to our right, it was Professor Small and this other Nigerian gentleman that they put us next door. And the African gentleman started to flirt with my she's an actress. Her name's Olanike Adelaide.
Yes. Yes.
Girl. And she's just, she's the party. I love her with all my heart. She's one of my best friends. And there was the banter just going back and forth. And Professor Small was there and he was just looking and we were all laughing and whatnot. And we ended up all going to a table to share lunch together because there was just too much talking. Mm-hmm. And while I was there, I said, hey, I just wrote this book and blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, he's reading the cover. You can imagine Professor Small, married men and fuckboys.
Professor Small could be very raw himself. Don't let him fool you.
He bought 4 copies of my book.
And right.
I was very quiet because when I recognized who it was that was sitting there, I didn't want to speak. You get quiet in the presence of wisdom.
Yes.
And so he noticed my silence and he's like, how come you're not as talkative as the others? And I said to him, I'm waiting to hear what I'm supposed to do next. Mm-hmm. And so I think that struck him as I was a little different than most people. Right. And when he bought the book, I asked him to please mentor me. And he says, everybody wants me to mentor them and this and that. But I followed up and I would not leave him alone. And then he started to mentor me. We started to have conversations on Zoom and he allowed me to tape some of them. And
you and him born in October. He's the 22nd.
Yeah. 11/22.
Yeah, that's something.
That's divine. That's divine. And we both kind of recognize that. And, he fathered me where I didn't have a father. And he also disturbed my understandings of Christianity in the way that I've been, endoused with it. And, so much of our language just comes out with that Christian speech. And I've come to just accept that about myself. But I know based on how I live my life, that it's not the Christianity that people think it is. I understand it as what Professor Small has shown me. It is my ancestors. It is that story and balance of energy. And I understand it more than ever now. Yeah. And he helped me also start to unravel myself. And it was after that I did the movie. It was after that I turned 50. And all of these things started to just piece together. And I said, I can't have all of this knowledge to myself. I'm going to bring this man up here to speak to the people, because I want to live, and I want my children to live in a world that knows what he knows.
Yes.
You know, when my sons look at other people that look like them, I want them to have empathy and compassion and understand that we are one and that we need to work together. Yes, master numbers. Thank you.
Yes, that's what they are, master numbers. That's right.
Yes.
No, and were your sons in attendance in Toronto that day?
For the screening, yes. My son
good.
is actually, one of my sons is in the movie.
Great.
Yeah, he's in the movie, and my children are very aware of my life and my story. I don't hide too much from them. I mean, obviously it's inappropriate to talk about everything.
Yeah.
But they understand that their mother struggles in certain ways, and you make it relatable to where they are and age specific. And I have a beautiful relationship with my children, and they support me.
How are they with the father? The father.
Great. See, this is a very topic for me that is very sensitive, because I have a lot of Black men friends, and
of course. Right.
And the way that the mothers of their children exclude them from raising their children, it's really, like, I get emotional about it, because they're denying those men from being men. Because children, if I'm as a mother developing into the full person that I am because of my relationship with my children, why are you denying that of the men to get the chance? They may not be the man that you wanted them to be, and you think that they don't deserve to be with your child, but you had the child together, and that child is going to help them develop into whoever they're going to develop into. It may not look the way that you want it to look, but that's not for them to decide. You know, that child has to get the representation of both, even if they're not living under the same house. So my relationships with my two exes, I had my first ex get a letter from my second ex. When I started to date my second ex, I had him write a letter to my first husband to explain to him that he's not going to be taking over as father, but that he wants to co-parent in that situation.
Exactly.
So because I set that precedent, we came together in a way that was very healthy. And so now that I've left my second husband, that's not going to change. And we've now maintained that. And so now with the person that I'm with now, they both know him. I don't have that kind of drama in my life. Good. Because that's not for my children to have to experience. And it has nothing to do with the masterful plan of what's unfolding here. So it's beyond me.
Congratulations. God, I mean, I have a sister out here that calls them husbands.
Husbands, I love it. That is a bar. Let me tell you, I don't know who she is, but I have to coin that one in one of my.
Big up to Tassili, my aunt who owns Tassili Raw out here in Georgia. So she says husbands.
I love it. That is so accurate. Yeah. Yes, co-parenting is very important, and the legal system does not support our men in the legal system, and these women who aren't even really, some of them, if they were like how I was, falling apart, we're not equipped to raise the children at that moment. You need the help of the men. Not only for the men's sake, but for the chance of the children to. Yes, exactly.
Relationship,
exactly, 100%. So
and you know, and living in Canada, Toronto. Have you seen the changes over the years? Because you've been there for a long period of time, especially for women in the business, in the entertainment. We spoke about this briefly before we got on the air.
Yeah.
Talk about that and how women are starting to be recognized because I Googled up all of the actors and entertainers from Canada, and there's a lot of them from Canada.
It's a lot, yeah. You know, I think that Me Too and George Floyd kind of opened up some doors. I know.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that those two movements in particular had our government, who likes to give away a lot of money, but there's politics behind that as well. But they do give a lot of money out, and I think they started to preference money for women, and specifically Black women. But, you know, as much as they do that, there's always these pitfalls that you are and hurdles that you have to go over. Yeah. And if you're not savvy on how to play that game, you're going to still get left behind. You're going to be like, that money must not be for me because I never get the grants. And I've heard that so often. But the person who wrote my grant had an in, and that's how I think that happened for me. And it was timing. And for that to open up, meaning to me that it was supposed to happen.
Right.
So, but it's very difficult still to receive these grants and to live as an artist off of this money. So that's why so many of us run over to the States, because the population size is what helps us there. It's not necessarily that the Black people in the States are better. It's just that there's more of you. And so the opportunity to reach an audience is just stronger.
Did you know that John Q was filmed in Canada? You remember John Q?
I do.
Matter of fact, my cousin was the host for that. She was the booking agent for that back in the day with Denzel. You all right there? Don't be choking on us.
Sorry.
The majority of movies are filmed in Toronto nowadays.
It used to be Montreal and Toronto. Yep. Yeah, a lot of different over there. They love it, and because it's cheaper. It was cheaper for them to go over there and film. And then I remember, you all right? You all right there? Where your man to pat you on your back? Where your man there to pat you on your back?
Listen, he's right over here. Don't you worry.
Exactly. Let me come on tap you.
All
right. Oh, see, that's nice. Oh man.
Yeah, they film a lot of movies here for sure.
Yes, good. Family that are just tuning in, we are speaking with L.A. Wade, the one, the only, from out of Toronto, Canada, and worldwide, of course, executive producer, writer, published author, creative consultant, TV and podcast host. Make sure you hit her up on the IG, both IGs, and make sure you go to that strip to buy at buystrip.com and hit up that link. And remember, all of it is posted in the description, but it's also posted right here on the top of the lot, right here on the chat. So let's give her a round of applause for all that she's doing. Yes. And do remember, family, like, subscribe, share, and comment. I see y'all people throwing comments up. We're also broadcasting on Kerry Ann Ingram's YouTube channel also, and of course on my King Simon Presents on YouTube and King Simon Productions, and on Instagram also at I Am King Simon. So any questions y'all have, people might want to get into television and radio, how to do it from a sister's point of view, from a brother's point of view. Some of y'all might have a movie inside of y'all might want to put up and put out, make it happen.
We all have a movie inside
we all
of
got
us.
A movie, yes.
We all got a movie and a book inside of us, for sure.
Yes, go ahead, Carrie. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So your construction of the book, which is like, I have to let's give her like some more applause, because one book is challenging. I've been trying to write one book for over 7 years, like literally. So you have several books under your belt. That's incredible. That have been a source of healing for you. And if you were advising, people who have gone through similar experience as you, what is the most potent advice you would give them to get beyond the difficulties of the pain?
The pain. There's nothing, you can't get around the difficulties of the pain. You have to confront the pain. You need to write without censoring yourself, and look at the page and see yourself and feel that shame, and then do something about it. Apologize to who you have to apologize to. Give yourself grace. You give it to other people. And the most important thing for me in writing the books was that I learned a lesson about writing down 1,200 words. 1,200 words a day. If you tell a story, just write a story to yourself about your day, and you'll notice that you can write 1,200 words very easily. And so if you can do that as a journal, for example, you're journaling 1,200 words a day towards a book, then all of a sudden you're going to start to recognize that there's something that you're trying to say. You're going to start to see patterns in what it is that you're writing about, the things that you're noticing. Write with your senses, describe what you're feeling, you're thinking, you're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, And all of a sudden, this tapestry of a narrative is going to come to life, and you're going to hear your voice emerge from that. And, give yourself grace. You're writing a story. And what I did in particular, why I brought this up before was because I had somebody, his name is Joseph Bonsu. He's an illustrator here. He's from Ghana. And I had him illustrate my picture because I didn't think the world was ready to see a true Black woman on the cover. I think they prefer to see us animated, a caricature. It's more palatable that way.
Yeah.
The reason why she's naked on the cover is because that's how the writing is. It's very naked. But while you can objectify her when you look at her, you'll notice that she's looking back. And so therefore there's a subjectivity in what is happening here that allows you to go deeper, and that you realize that there's more going on here than you think. And so by creating her external to myself, it gave me permission to explore those aspects of myself that I'm embarrassed about, that it's not fully me. It was Callie. Right. But I know the truth. I know the truth of who I'm writing about, what I'm writing about, what's true, what's made up. And because you have that, because you do need to protect yourself, it does say guard your heart, right? So you do have to guard yourself and don't put anything out there that you're not willing to sit with. I'm just very raw and taboo. And so I am very much somebody that puts it all out there. And that's what makes me lonely. I was very lonely because of that. But it went from loneliness to just being alone to just, that's my solitary, I'm just solitary. I'm cool with that. That's my solitude. And when I did everything in this way and I sat with where I was and I was able to still succeed in that, then the man appeared. And that's when I was able to, if that's what I had to do all this time, you couldn't do this when I was in my early 40s. I'm 50.
No time for now.
It's timeless. It's timeless. We are in time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So everything that I'm having in this moment is it's just life. It's just beautiful. And I'm so grateful for everything.
I think you just answered her question. What made you feel or know that your story and lesson were worth writing into a book?
It's when it's worth it for you. It has nothing to do with the audience. You write for yourself. Be present, my love. Be present, because that is it really is, as cliche as it is, it's the best gift you can give to yourself is to be present. Because you have control over the thoughts. And in my other book, Friends with Benefits, but Mostly Liabilities, I talk about the trigger and the behavior. So there's something that happens between when you're triggered by something and how you act upon it. And what happens in between could be shame, embarrassment, guilt, punishment, all of these different things. So you can't always control it, but being mindful, you can get out of the loop and observe yourself, and then you can make better decisions.
Yeah.
My website. What you got going on here?
There it is, your website. Yeah, we're just throwing it around. Make sure people see your website going on and what's happening.
Yeah.
And family, look at all of this. Thirsty as
The movie trailer, if you go on that. You can see my movie trailer. We're going into all the film festivals. We'll be in New York City sometime in May for the Women's International Film Festival so far. This is a tour that we want to do with Thirsty as Fuck, where we go into the schools, we play the movie, and then we have really open discussions about the themes that come up in the story. It's only a 15-minute, 38-second short film. So a lot is packed in there.
Now that you're in a new happy relationship, how does he handle what you've been through? Because I know men, we hold things in our own head, and it's like, I know, like, really, you've been with who and what and where? All I got. We, as much as women do it, we can do it too in our own way. Like, we examine it and checking out who this person is also we're with.
Listen, my first response is, I don't know how he does it. The second response is,
well, give him a round of applause.
Yeah. I'm a confronter, and he doesn't really like confrontation. And most men don't like confrontation.
Yeah, we don't.
And when I say confront, you can learn to confront something without it being aggressive and angry.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't ever happen. You can get triggered, and next thing you know, you're in the full blown of an argument.
Yes.
But I think that if you have the respect for one another, when you don't have respect, I think that's when the relationship needs to be put down. That's what my mom always told me. When there's no more respect, there's nothing else to hold on to. And so as long as we maintain the respect, we're very good together. In terms of what I've been through and how he handles that, I wouldn't say that I was really dragged through the streets like that. I mean, I think calling myself a recovering sex addict has a lot more to do with this kind of society we live in. We are a very hypersexual society, and I thought it was a clever way to talk about it. But I was more like a serial monogamous more than anything. I don't like having a lot of different partners. I like one partner because that's what makes me feel safe. And so he's caught me in a period of my life where I'm so aware of everything that is going on within me. And even the things that I'm not aware of, I can tell him that I'm not aware of it. And he's able to, manage his own emotions. I can't just be doing the work for everybody. He has to do his work too.
Of course.
And so his willingness to show up in the healing space, in the spirit of healing, we always say, let your living be your healing. And so we live every day and every moment towards that healing. And what's happening is love. That's amazing. I wish that for everybody.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Black love.
Black love, melanated love, Moorish love, all the love we can get.
Love. Professor Small said that none of us knew how to make love as an African. And I was like, oh my God, what does that mean?
That's right.
When he described it, I was like, oh shit, we got this.
Yeah.
We got this. So yeah, I'm blessed.
Now, I'm on your link tree now. You got some stuff here that can you hear us now? Event series. What's that all about?
Can You Hear Us Now is an event series that I'm going to be filming my documentaries through, because we can't always get money. I throw an event, film it, and then I'm going to get a documentary out of it. The little short documentaries. I'm building a body of work towards the freedom and empathy of our community. I want to promote almost everything that I do. It requires group economics within the Black community. So my books are completely Black, created and owned and developed. So I'm the writer. My editor was a Black woman. The person who did the artwork was a Black man. The person who laid out the book was a Black woman with all of the imagery. And the printer was also a Black man. So this book is completely Black owned. And so when you support this book, you're supporting so many other people. And I love that. This is something that's really important to me. Even when I did the event series, this was an important aspect of what I was doing as well. A Black owned restaurant. A Black manager of the studio. He doesn't own the studio, but he basically runs that studio. And I wanted to support him because I could have done it anywhere. But I purposely do these kind of things because I love my community very much, even when they don't love me back. And we have to get there as a people, that we're not always going to feel the way we want to feel. It's not on our timestamp. It's not about us. We need to get beyond us, put down the ego, and just learn to love.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. There's a story thing that I was telling you about.
Yes, I see. You could buy from Canada, you could buy from UK, you could buy from America, you could buy all of our books, all of that. A Married Men and F-Boys.
Friends with Benefits.
Yeah, with benefits, Lord have mercy. I've had a few of those in my past.
In the Friends of Benefits book, I have at the back of the book a SWOT analysis. I don't know if you're into investing, but anybody, whoever is into investing, you know that a SWOT analysis does, a deep dive. I'm so sorry. I was under the weather and it's catching up to me.
You're fine.
So the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats.
Right.
And so when you break down what these things are and the people that you have in your life, you're going to start to see a pattern of whether or not you should cancel or counsel them back into your life. I got that in counsel culture. I love it when Nick Cannon is on it with that. And I'm so here for that. That's where it's got to be.
Nick Cannon is born October 8th, so go figure that one out.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to interview him one day.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he's good friends with his Mr. G. He talked to him on a regular. I'll see what he can do. I'll find out what he
please
can do.
because I will have another wonderful event series up here and I'll film that shit too.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be big. You have to because Nick does. He'll do a lot. He'll do the work, man. He comes out and do the work.
That's what I love about him is I feel like we have that same passion. And I think that we've had that same guilt that makes us do these things to kind of switch up our karma because we know that we haven't been 100 all the time. But our intention is good. You know, we live with our heart. And I don't know what he's going through, but I know that when I lead with my heart, I'm just looking for safe places.
He's going through 12 children. That's what,
he's going through. Pocketbook is what he's doing.
He's a Hebrew. He got 12 tribes. So he know what he's doing. 12 tribes of Israel. I'm going to have them all named. Somebody said we're almost 70. I guess they're talking about their age and writing and what they should do. People can write at any age. You can write got a whole lot of stories to tell. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Absolutely. 70, because your perspective changes and even if you take yourself on a journey through your writing of like, what would the 10-year-old self of you, based on what you remember, what would they say? What would the 20-year-old self of what you have to write about? What would they say? And that's why books are endless because there are so many different perspectives and point of views that you can write from. Or, how do your friends see you? Or, how does your dog see you? All of these things.
Who is this crazy human?
You know what I mean? Like if I really wanted to write a really great comedy, I could just write the perspective from my dog, Riley. She is hilarious. She's always looking at me like, are you serious, bitch? Like, are you really doing this? Like, she thinks I'm crazy. And I think she's crazy too.
I actually have a play in my head called If My Bed Sheets Could Talk.
Right.
I have a play in my head. And this is from my party days. This is crazy.
That's a seller. That's a top seller right there. Best seller right there.
I didn't even think about that one yet. I was like, it's in my head. It's like an improvised one-man show. I got it in my head. I will be able to keep on saying and speaking every little thing that
as soon as you said that, I'm sure everybody thought about who's been in their sheets and what it would say.
Right, exactly.
So because of that, you got a bestseller.
I know, right?
What would my sheet say?
I remember.
What would my sheet say?
But if I burn that sheet, there you know. But if I burn that sheet up, Lord Jesus. Yeah, them sheets are burned by now. They've been burned. Somebody just asked, how do you find your audience for your writing, and do they find you? That's a good
No,
question.
they don't find me because I'm terrible at marketing. I'm not terrible at marketing. I'm terrible at technology.
Wow.
So I don't know when people find me. They're in it with me. If they don't know how to find me, then I don't know how to find them either. But I have traveled with the book. I have gone on different podcasts and things like that. But I think it's because I didn't start to do it for that reason. And so I didn't have a plan the way that I'm now planning out my career. So my books are there, but it's almost like they help me do everything else. And so now I do want to sell it because the more people know that I have books, the better it becomes. I mean, this is the first book. You can see how thin it is.
Yeah. Right.
And this is the second book.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I clearly have so much more to say. And I am working on the third book in the series. It's going to be called Optical Delusions. And it's about all of those people that you thought were the one.
Yeah.
You're like,
that's funny.
I'm delusional. This is not what's happening here.
Yeah, it was so funny that you say something about technology when your 11 rules technology from the Aquarius factor, because I know you're not Aquarius, but 11 deals with the Aquarian age of technology and the rebel and
the Aquarian age.
So those sometimes you run away from what you're supposed to do, but when you actually get it, it's gonna be you're gonna take it over.
I'm telling you, it's starting to come together because my wonderful partner is better at it than me.
Of course. Of course.
So
of course.
I'm blessed for that.
Well, before we let you go, any other questions, my dear Carrie Ann, you want to give her?
I don't have a question, but I do have a suggestion.
Okay.
around your books to create a community. You can.
Oh, she's a marketer. That's right. Carrie Ann is a marketer. Go ahead,
market it.
Yes,
you can put together a challenge or a course teaching people how to get beyond or get through that challenging situation using the materials in your book and tie it all together. And that's a really powerful way for community and for also getting more sales.
I love it. Let's talk about that offline.
Yeah, yes, same area. Go on and talk with each other.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean,
now, people, both of them live in Canada, family. Please know they live in Toronto, not too far from each other. Please know this.
I know that was another really crazy thing how we found this out.
I know that was again. That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with us. That me chasing man has led to all of this.
Yeah.
And my recovery has made it so that it is, peaceful and good now.
Right.
Whereas if I wasn't still in the throes of the chaos, I'm sure this would not have happened because that's out of alignment with where we are and what we're trying to do.
Right. Also, it's a really important thing for people who are like, oh my God, I'm miserable that my life is like this. It's like, no. Your life is like this because it's setting you up and leading you towards this path. Trust the process. As long as you're doing the work and your third eye is open, it will take you to where you're supposed to be.
Yes, but cry if you need to cry. It hurts. Just because I know when I stub my toe that the pain isn't going to last forever, it doesn't mean my toe doesn't hurt.
That's right. Exactly.
Right?
And,
that's the truth.
And Professor Smalls almost forgot to shout out the Toronto event. Remember, and then he started texting you and saying, let me find out. Then he shouted out, that's when Carrie Ann knows that he's coming. It's like, wait a minute, you coming to Canada? In February, on my birthday, February 1st, it was my birthday that day. So it's like,
I remember that.
February 1st?
Happy belated.
Wow. Oh, thank you. And, and I'm glad that you said about crying it out because a lot of us, like Michael Bazin back in the day wrote Men Cry in the Dark. So today I was watching the last season of Blacklist with Raymond Reddington.
Okay.
And they played the Latin version of I Did It My Way, but because I picked up on the whole song and he wanted to go out that way. This is a spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. He died by getting hit by a bull. Because after all the travels, all that he did all his life, he wanted to go out his way, not by no detective or no FBI catching him. He went out by getting killed by a bull, by standing. But I started crying because he's an Aquarian. When I looked up his sign, he's born February 7th. And I said, that's exactly how I feel. I want to go out my way. I don't want to go out any other way but my way. And I said that, and I had to stop. I started crying and I started screaming. I said, I respect, I don't want to get hit by a bull, okay? But I said, I want to go out my way with nobody else's madness and all that kind of stuff, because sometimes we as air signs, we already feel the air and we know our connection to the air and what needs to be done. So I don't want any obstructions. I don't want any craziness. When in your legacy, what do you want to leave your legacy? What kind of legacy you want to leave for your children and the dynasty and the infinite dynasty you want to leave on this earth before you pass on? It's
funny. I ask people that question every day. I ask them, what do you thirst for? And I think I thirst for everything. I thirst for everything that I'm supposed to have. And I want my children to have everything that they're supposed to have. And if I can facilitate them having that, then that's a blessing. One of my mentors, Dr. Vybez, he always says, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm a magnet for miracles. I'm a solution to someone's problems. And then he says, and I'm blackalicious. And I think, that mantra is very much how I try to live. I am blessed and highly favored. I know this. I am a magnet for miracles because my life is proof of it. And I am a solution to someone's problem because I work to help my community and to help in any way that I can. So I think that's why it resonates with me. And I try to pass that on to my children. One of the number one things that I taught my children was to know themselves, that the power is within them and it's not external to them. Not me, not anyone else. The power is in you. And so when you feel the fear, you are powerful enough to disperse that fear. You can do anything. And I want them to have everything that they want.
Give that a round of applause. Thank you very much. Great job, T.O. Toronto, Montreal, Canada, all over the day. God, they don't know how much prizes you have out there, how brave people you have out there. God have mercy.
A lot of mercy.
A lot of mercy. I want to thank all of you for coming on. Make sure the link is in the description. His link is also in the chat to all of our sites, to the website, to the links, to all of it that you want to catch. And also you can hit up on IG. Those are our IG pages. Also, and of course, the buy.strip.com is also in the description. Make sure you go on here and support her books and everything that she's doing and her family out there. And hey, I'm in Georgia. Next time y'all out here, I got Professor Smalls. If you can make it out there, you let me know.
We're coming in May, so we'll chat. We'll connect in May.
In May? Oh,
yes,
really?
Okay, the film festival.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
We'll be there in May.
My dear, so proud of your journey. Thank you so much for coming on. It is not like I said, living in Canada myself, it wasn't an easy road watching my cousin argue with producers and everybody wanted to sleep with her and she can't get this. She couldn't. She just couldn't. She had to fight off, man. That's how crazy it is in that Canadian world, man. So I'm proud of the sisters that are starting to shine. And hopefully I'll connect her with you, man, so y'all can connect. She still runs the acting agency in Canada called Native New Yorkers. So she's still doing thing. So if you want to do anything out there, y'all, I'm gonna connect you and send you a number and stuff. So all right, but
thank you
very much again. Gary, thank you. You connected with her. And Professor Smalls, I sent this to him, so I don't know if he was watching. So I did
big up yourself, Professor Small. We have a first cut that's coming to you just now. We've been working hard on that documentary. It's called A Small Book, and we hope to have it in film festivals near the end of this year. Wow. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, he deserves it, believe me. Just like Wesley did something for John Henry Clark back in the day. He did that for John, the mighty, strong and mighty walk, the long and mighty walk. John Henry Clark. He wanted to do it for Dr. Ben, but he never got a chance. But that's what they need. These elders need it. You know
we need them, and they need us.
Yeah.
We need each other. We need each other.
Thank you. I say.
Bye, love.
That was beautiful, sis. Thank you very much for bringing it on and everything. Woo! Yeah, all right. How you feeling? You feeling good?
Yeah, that was good. I feel good.
This is the Healing Vybez. Yeah, I feel good. Wonderful insight. Everybody, great show. Thank y'all very much, man. Back and listening to all. Yeah. Make sure you rewind and come again. Yes. Yeah, I know I did some spoilers. Yes, I gave a spoiler. Yes, y'all didn't listen. Y'all didn't watch the other Blacklist. You know, one thing about that show, as and I had, when it first came on with Blacklist, I had to Google up this guy's name and his birthday. And sure enough, he born February 7th. I said, wow. I knew he was an Aquarian. Just the way he carried himself. I said,
right.
And I said, man, this is powerful.
So you're picking up the patterns.
Yes. And I gave his because he's very studied, well-rounded with world information. That's 7 energy, picks up his alignment numbers are 9. So Chris Rock born that same day. One of my sons is born that same day. Charles Dickens is born that same day. Kid Capri is born that same day. And I see they world travel. They really connected. So I'm trying to focus my youngest son on understanding why he needs to travel on a higher level. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Don't play around with this. You know, because it's easy. You could easily go down another route with an Aquarian energy. You can go the other way. You know, it could be depressive. It could be rebel to the point without a cause, without pause. You know, you're on the other side. You're on Aquarius.
I am. I'm the female Aquarian.
Yeah.
And also like being very attentive to the like astrological movement that is connected to your sign and where the planets are, because that really helps us to stay in balance.
Yes.
Yeah, especially in the Aquarian age. As an Aquarian, anything.
Yeah, man. In this age, you gotta, and big up to Lloyd. He did a nice program to get today, showing you the difference between the January Aquarius, the February Aquarius.
Did he?
Yeah, that's what the show. That when I was listening, when I came on behind the scenes, I was listening to. because I know the whole nuances and what he's doing to keep it connected. So I understand.
Yeah.
Even when I do, I always tell people that I get along better with the September Libras than the October Libras, and there's a reason, and I know why. That's the reason, just by the numbers and the signs. So, and I know why Lloyd broke it down, and I'm glad he's being more relevant with breaking it down from it out of his book. So, but thank you very much. That was good that you connected with this sister. We were able to talk. I'm glad Professor Smalls went there and did what she had to do. And we might have to connect with her when she comes out here and see what happens, and do what we have to do, and bring your backside back out here too. This time to do a presentation instead of just coming to visit and hang out and go walk our woods and all kind of sitting.
I'm waiting, okay? I like the Georgia forest.
You want you to make some money too, you know? So
exactly.
do a nice
I'm down. I'm absolutely down. Community, do you want me to come? Let me know in the comments if you want me to come down.
Yeah, we got to do a Healing Vybez Show, live show, probably in front of the audience, and have some fun with it. You know
that would be really cool.
That'll be cool, man. And then do a whole lecture and presentation and all that. You know, that would be fun. You know, people loving it, man. Peace and love, divine family. Yeah, we in the building now. We're in the building. But but thank you very much. It's 9/11 right now. Wow. Good numbers.
Speaking of numbers, really quick, on our Healing Vibe, my Jamaican almost came out, on the Healing Vibe Show page, Instagram page, which you all should go follow. Thank you. The numbers are so interesting right now. There's a 30 for 30 posts, 88 followers, and 55 following.
Really?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I saw that today and I was like, numerology.
We gotta everybody that's on IG, thank y'all very much for tuning in on IG. Also, thank y'all very much for locking in and logging in. And everybody on Instagram, everybody on your channel, Carrie Ann Ingram, and also on my channel, and also my Facebook, also at King Simon Productions and King Simon on Facebook. Well, we had a great show. I want to thank you. Thank you for being your great self as usual. Get yourself some rest and relaxation. And we will talk, and we'll see what we can bring in for the 28th. I don't know, boy, that dental thing. I might
actually have not a dentist appointment. I have an eye appointment, so I won't be. Yeah, the 28th.
So we could do a rebroadcast and just run something old, you know, if we want. You know, I can run something old on the channel, so we don't have to. So I'm not going. I don't want you to be able to see it. I don't want to be able. I want to be able to talk.
I can't see it. And I'm like, sorry, you guys, I look crazy, but I couldn't see.
You'll have on the Stevie Wonder glasses, and I'll have on my muscle.
Oh, sugar.
That's funny.
Isn't it? Of all the days, and the 28th.
Ain't that something? Yeah, because we went there today. I went to the dentist today, but I thought I was going to get it pulled today, but she said, oh no, this is for root canal. This is not for she said, and then she did a whole 3D X-ray. She said, you know what? Go and get it pulled. You ain't going to be able to salvage this. Just the back tooth. He said, you might as well go get them too. I said, all right. Next week, because I ain't doing it right today. My spirit was there for that, and I'm not gonna be sent somewhere else to go do it somewhere else.
Right.
Although I love the next one. That's a Latino sister dentist, and then the other one is a Black sister that runs her own 5 different companies, dental offices. Sister, they run in business, man, and they share in business with the Latino sisters. And I like that. I was liking that, so I said, let me support my sisters out here in Georgia, in Marietta. Had a good time. It's called Polished Dentals. Dentals, Tiffany Jameson and the whole crew, man. Beautiful staff of people. Beautiful sister. She's born January 29th.
Oprah's birthday.
Yeah, she right there. Yeah, Oprah's birthday. Yeah, exactly. So, and Supernova Slum, Queen of Four Sons' birthday. Yeah. So My dear, thank you very much. We had a good time, family. Thank y'all all for showing us love and being in the building. But we probably next week we're just gonna do a rebroadcast of one of our old shows, probably the first show. Maybe we should rebroadcast the first show that we ever did. That should be fun.
With Queen Afua.
Yeah, with Queen Afua. Yes, that's the first show we ever did with Queen. So you'll see it scrolling. It's a rebroadcast. You'll know that's a rebroadcast. And with support, because one is gonna be an eye doctor, one gonna be in the dentist's office. So I ain't doing all that. We'll look ridiculous. We'll be like this.
Oh, but they love us. They won't judge us.
I can't. And thank you to Uncle Rising Sun for sending me this Oregon Energy plate to hold my cup on, to rest my cup on the Oregon Energy plate. So big up to Uncle Rising Sun, good brother. Yeah. He sent me some stuff, man. So big up to him. And thank you very much, Carrie, for being the genuine Toronto, Jamaican, African woman that you are.
Thank you.
All right. I love you and peace and love. All right. And family, we'll talk to y'all later. Y'all take care of yourselves. Peace. And we are out of here.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.